Yo, what's up, everybody? This is DJ Emergency. We are watching the Act Man. This is the Act Man reaction to his latest video, The War Against Valve. Let's see what he's got to say.
Valve is one of the most prestigious and respected companies in the world. It's no wonder why they've garnered such massive support from their customers and the gaming audience in general. The list of their good deeds is quite extensive, but arguably more important is how, unlike many other tech companies, they have avoided enshittification.
Valve is so good. I remember when I first got Steam so long ago on my computer, you could look up pictures of what Steam used to look like. It kind of used to have this greenish gray color to the background, and a lot of the menus and everything were more basic, but yeah, it looked crazy. When I was a little kid, Steam looked a lot different.
Just imagine how much worse Steam could be if they added a bunch of unnecessary AI into it. Just imagine. They're basically the Costco of game publishers. A company that, despite their major, massive worldwide success, still clings to their values, a consumer-first approach, for the most part.
What's Valve's take on piracy?
Piracy to us, so we don't really worry about piracy.
That's awful, dude. No. Eat my entire ass.
You know, when we think,
What
when you
the
look at the
fuck?
top 10 issues
Pirate
on
software,
our list at
eat my
any
entire
given
ass.
point in time, piracy is almost never, something that's on that list. From our point of view, what we saw more and more is that piracy is the result of bad service on the part of game companies.
They're the type of company whose business practices would drive Mr. Krabs insane. Not many companies give out unsolicited refunds or retroactive discounts if you happen to purchase a game shortly before it goes up on.
Steam was originally just meant for Valve's games, like Left 4 Dead, Half-Life, Black Mesa, all those old games, Team Fortress 2, Team Fortress, Gary's Mod, like it was all meant for those games, the games that were made or branched off from the company's assets. But it was so good that they just started dropping every company's games on there, anyone who wanted to, as long as you pay the fee.
On sale. Unlike Activision or EA, Valve doesn't annualize their franchises or milk them to death. They do the exact opposite. Valve is an outlier because it's not just the good things that they've done, but rather the horrible things they've avoided doing. And as the old saying goes,
when you do things right, people won't be sure you've done anything at all.
Now, they're not a perfect company, and I did a
that from
whole
Futurama?
video a while back on the many controversies, mistakes, greed, and stupid decisions they've made in the past. But this is not that video, because at the risk of becoming the leave alone the multi-billion-dollar company guy, but it's safe to say there is a targeted attack, a war, if you will, against Valve, for reasons that we're going to uncover in this video. With far too many coincidences to ignore, and the more you look into it, well, let's just say the tinfoil hat gets bigger and bigger. But before we get too deep into this topic, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video,
sponsor.
Chime. Chime is the most loved banking app. Times are tough and money is tight. It's one of the biggest stressors in
Chime. Y'all know about Chime. Check it out. Check out Chime. Check it out. It's really awesome.
for sponsoring this video.
And now for something completely different.
Now for something
Presented for your
completely
perusal,
different.
Exhibit A. Valve wins lawsuit against Rothschild and associated entities, with a jury agreeing they violated an Anti-Patent Troll Protection Act. Yes, they won this lawsuit filed in 2023. Valve
Rothschild is like, they're like one of the most famous like lawsuit type of groups of people. They make their money purely off of lawsuits and like patents and royalties, stuff like that. It's literally the only reason Rothschilds exist.
was going toe-to-toe with the Rothschilds, the very same Rothschilds who have remained one of the wealthiest banking families for the last 300 years. Yet they still don't have enough money. So this guy, Lee Rothschild, is basically what's called a patent troll. A patent troll is basically someone who creates or acquires numerous patents, produces absolutely nothing with them, and makes a living through litigation. People who violate those patents. Think of the Nemesis system in Shadow of War. It's basically idea hoarding, not the most noble of professions. You'd have significantly more dignity working as a stripper, in my opinion. So what? Valve wins a $152,000 settlement with some billionaire patent troll.
Right.
What's the big deal?
Doesn't matter to them.
Coincidentally, just a few days after this, the New York State Attorney General, Letitia James, announced that they were suing Valve. What for? To protect children, of course.
Would I lie?
Would I lie?
That's a rather strange coincidence, wouldn't you say?
But as one trained in the Force, you know that true coincidences are rare.
I mean, granted,
He
big
plays that.
corporations deal with
I've seen that
lots
one
of
before.
lawsuits. They have big legal teams, so this could just
You know, true coincidences are rare.
be happenstance, right? Valve former economist is being put on trial for promoting drug use because he admitted to taking ecstasy 36 years ago.
Damn.
That's right, kids. If you touch that weed joint 36 years from now, you're gonna regret it. Are you kidding me? What? There's no statute of limitations on drug use? 36 years ago, bro. That's a lifetime for me. That's more than a lifetime ago. Now, the Greek member of parliament who's being sued right now basically said that he had experienced ecstasy once 36 years ago in Sydney, ended up regretting it and saying, no matter how pleasant drug taking may seem, there is a price to pay. So not just promoting drug use, that's a reach. It's a halo reach.
Halo
Suppose
reach.
this is all coincidence?
Dark forces are at work, pushing us into a postmodern version of the
The
Dark
Sith.
Forces.
The
They
Sith
out
are
there
here.
to take away from us the last remnants of autonomy and freedom that we have. Resistance is literally existence.
Oh, okay, that's why they're going after him. And just a month ago, Valve was thrown into a $900 million lawsuit over PC
Crazy amounts of
monopoly
money.
claims. This lawsuit gaining the support, coincidentally, of Steam competitor Epic Games CEO Tim Sweeney. That's a whole can of worms on its own. Now,
Valve has to have an entire team of lawyers just ready to handle these suits at all times. I mean, I'm guessing a good 10% of their employees has to deal with the law.
now let's focus on this latest lawsuit, which is about gambling, I almost said CSGO. It's Counter-Strike 2 now. Counter-Strike 2 skins, loot boxes. Yeah, remember that whole controversy that really blew up like 9 years ago?
I've decided to make our own CSGO gambling site called babygambles.net.
Oh.
We believe that 13-year-old is way too old to get started gambling.
H3.
And we want the age to go down to 5.
You're a little late to the party here,
Five.
Letitia James. But the lawsuit and what she's
Oh, what is it?
alleging
13, no,
contains some
5.
pretty serious, shall we say, logical flaws. Valve, a video game developer, has made billions of dollars by letting children and adults illegally gamble for the chance to win valuable virtual prizes. These features are addictive and harmful. That's why I'm suing to stop Valve's unlawful contact and protect New Yorkers. First off, this is not the real reason, and it has 2 community notes. Counter-Strike is rated M with Steam parental controls. Minors playing reflects parental supervision choices only. Yes, it all comes back to that sage-old wisdom of being present in your child's life. Cosmetics are optional with disclosed ads and no cash out on Steam. Firms shouldn't be penalized for creating products so popular that users themselves deem valuable. Now, for whatever reason, in this lawsuit, they also included this passage. It is important to note that Valve's promotion of games that glorify violence and guns helps—
Why are they showing Dr. Breen? Is that Dr. Breen from Half-Life 2?
—fuel the dangerous epidemic of gun violence, particularly among young gamers who can become numbed to grave violence before their brains are fully developed. Miss James, it appears you should worry about your own underdeveloped brain, because this argument has been—
Yep,
Bro,
it's the oldest
I
argument.
literally made a video about this like 9 years ago. That's crazy. And even then, it was an outdated argument.
The oldest argument in the book, ever since video games have existed, have been, you know, the rotting of children's brains. They're fine. The children who have been through the first, like, waves of, like, news reports about kids and video games, they're adults now. They're older adults. They're fine. They're the ones making reports about the new kids, and they were playing video games when they were younger.
Are they going to become violent just by playing Grand Auto Theft? Grand Auto
Grand
Theft?
Auto-
Grand Auto Theft?
Oh, no.
Grand Auto Theft?
Granddaughter, look at his face. Wasted.
This is an outdated argument from the 90s. On this basis alone, making this accusation is so wildly out of touch that any reasonable person should just invalidate and discount your opinion entirely. Like, and the allegation that Valve
Put the
promotes
can in the
games that
trash.
glorify violence, I just... Like, where would I even begin? Young gamers who can become numbed to grave violence. I'm confused. Is this about gambling or about violence in video games? It's like you're late to the party, extremely late on both fronts. This seems like it was a hastily cobbled together list of grievances that are...
Who's waiting for Half-Life 3?
...as poorly constructed in their thought as they are outdated. Now, here's what I will say. Loot boxes are still a problem, and Valve should not be given a get-out-of-jail-free card when it comes to all of the ethical consequences of loot boxes, gambling, and the effect that can have on people. There is, you know, genuine horror stories. People's lives have been destroyed by gambling.
The only monster here is the gambling monster that has enslaved your mother. I call him Gamblor.
And they do share a ton of responsibility for the popularity of loot boxes as a business practice in the gaming industry. Team Fortress 2 basically set the template for this that other companies like EA would use in much more nefarious ways.
Jeez,
Valve has
EA.
even fine-tuned their loot boxes to work around European gambling.
The most money EA makes out of anything is FIFA. People spend crazy amounts of money on FIFA all over the world.
Laws and regulations. But here's the thing. If your goal is to protect children from gambling, why just Valve? Like, just Valve. No other company that has loot boxes. FIFA doesn't have an Ultimate Team, neither does Madden anymore. Like, EA's all good? Yeah, EA's great. Oh, okay. It's Valve that's the problem. Just Valve.
They're paid by EA. EA's paying these politicians so they don't get lawsuits.
Now, here's why Valve is not the worst offender. For starters, I've been on Steam for well over a decade, and I have never been compelled to buy a loot box personally. Their service is a PC storefront, and the games that do have microtransactions can be enjoyed to their fullest without ever touching a loot box. The same cannot be said for other games and products. Halo 5 or Battlefront 2, where the loot boxes actually have enough
Why is the
simplicity
Chocolate
without
Rain guy
ever touching
commentating?
a loot box. The same cannot be said for other games and products. Halo 5 or Battlefront 2, where the loot boxes actually have an effect on the gameplay and product, not just a visual aesthetic change. Games that monetize their gameplay, pay to win, is infinitely worse in my opinion than cosmetic only. With Counter-Strike skins, they do have real-world tradable value, like a Pokemon card. I suppose that is part of the problem, as third-party gambling sites have propped up, and at times Valve has struggled to take action against them and become complicit in the problem, but they have taken action even as long ago as 2016. All of this is to say, Valve is far from the worst offender when it comes to gambling that is addictive and harmful to children. Nobody in their right mind is going to give the loot boxes and monetization of Counter-Strike 2 and Dota 2 a free pass. There's obviously problems. The point is, if Valve is not the worst offender, then who is, and
EA.
why aren't you going after them?
It's EA.
You want to talk about protecting children? Maybe go after Roblox. Maybe go after Roblox.
Heard about
and
that.
if the goal is truly to regulate gambling better.
Roblox makes a lot of money and has some crazy adult stuff on their platform.
Did you watch the Super Bowl? Have you watched the NFL this last season? Is it not a massive conflict of interest for the NFL to have ads to bet on the games that you are watching on their network? Is that not... That's cool. I'm fine with like YouTubers doing a DraftKings ad read, but when you have NFL commentators giving their gambling predictions on an NFL broadcast, that seems like a bigger deal to me. The
insane.
consequences of winning or losing this lawsuit are huge. Letitia James seeks to permanently stop Valve from promoting gambling features in its games, discourage all ill-gotten gains, pay back all the money, the billions of dollars they made, and pay fines for violating New York's laws. Should they lose this lawsuit, which I can't imagine they will, it could also start a domino effect that spreads to other states and more lawsuits. This lawsuit is filled with other bogus allegations. They posted a screenshot alleging that Counter-Strike has a near-miss mechanic where you will see a very valuable item, but you won't actually win it. It's a tease. However, Valve removed this feature back in 2018, and the screenshot presented
8
has
years
been
ago.
tracked down by internet sleuths, showing the exact opposite of what is being alleged in the lawsuit. The guy actually won this.
Oh,
what is it
in
called
the
when you
screenshot,
present
that guy
evidence
actually
that
wins.
undermines your own case? That's a contradiction, Yugi boy. I think it's pretty clear.
It's a contradiction, Yugi boy. Oh man, they used a screenshot of a guy who actually won and didn't get a near miss. That's so dumb.
These lawsuits and this war against Valve has ulterior motives
that him?
behind it. Again, why are you not suing Polymaker?
Is that the
or
Eggman?
Halsey or Blizzard, Epic, EA?
Yep.
So what is the real motivation? Well,
EA's the worst offender I've
put
ever.
on the tinfoil hat, people. Let me spin you a yarn. Let me tell you my theory. I think it's pretty clear, as we've been seeing this push in technology across the world, that corporations, CEOs are vying for more control. They're putting AI into everything, harvesting data. They want more forms of verification that they never asked for before. Despite all of Roblox's numerous child safety features, sexual exploitation cases on the game have skyrocketed in the last few
Holy
years.
shit.
There is such a hardcore push for digital verification
That was 3,400%.
that you've got Discord pushing it. Discord, who is partnered with a company associated with Peter Thiel, the guy who's running Palantir. I made a video about that on the second channel. Go subscribe to Actman TV.
I reacted to that video.
If you haven't already, and subscribe to this channel. I really appreciate it. But as discussed in the Discord video, Peter Thiel is intent on setting up this
flashbang.
nationwide, worldwide
Jesus.
surveillance state where you have no privacy. That's the long and short of it. The tech world is pushing an aggressive approach to age verification, and Valve owns one of the largest digital storefronts in the world. Steam has about 130.
Holy smokes, look at those numbers. Big honking numbers.
2 million monthly active users. But it's because Valve does not play by the rules set by other public companies in harvesting their users' data that makes them a massive barrier in the tech industry's ultimate goal of establishing a mass surveillance state. You know, a few years ago, this shit would have sounded crazy to me too. But especially after seeing Discord try to pull this stuff, it is not a coincidence.
What the
And
fuck?
although
The
it is
face.
speculation on my part, that is the reason I believe why Valve is being targeted, why there is a war against Valve being waged through the form of various lawsuits and litigation. 132 million monthly active users.
Man, look at those numbers, dude. Wow. So many. They didn't hit 10 million until 2016 or 2015. Wow.
Can you not see a world in which people want the data and the information and the IDs of 132 million people? That's why they're being sued. It is so ridiculous that apparently even calculator firmware is being restricted unless users verify their age.
What?
Right? That's what this is about. And you can see in the lawsuit, Valve does not verify the age of Steam users. This is a problem. You see all these instances of stop killing games, AI data centers popping up, AI being shoved into everything, age verification across all of our apps, increasingly raised prices on things like subscriptions and Xbox Game Pass. These are not all isolated, independent events, in my opinion. I think it is a greater push by these out-of-touch billionaire tech CEOs to exert as much control over the population as possible.
The safety rules also apply on the internet. These rules include never giving out personal information.
And Valve has access to one of the largest audiences
90s or
and
late
the broadest
80s, early
demographics,
90s.
I think, on the planet. The increasing RAM prices, just as the enshittification of everything tech is not.
Can't believe AI has doubled or tripled RAM prices. I cannot believe it. First thing, it was crypto mining, messing with GPUs and chips, and now it's freaking... Man, now it's AI.
Not just a coincidence Neither is this war against Valve, and I wager it has very little to do with gambling. Valve is being targeted because they are independent and they're different from all of the other companies in shitifying everything. They might be the single biggest legal test case in gaming. And if they fall, it's only going to get worse. So what are we left with? Well, we have a series of lawsuits and claims filled with evidence contradicting their accusations. These suspicious lawsuits come against Valve at a time when tech companies seem insistent on gathering more and more personal and
I gotta do a Half-Life 2 stream, man. We gotta play it again. I think I've beat this game probably twice or maybe 3 times. I beat it 3 times. It's been super long.
Identifying information from users, removing any semblance of privacy, potentially setting up a nationwide surveillance state, monitoring every single thing you do on the internet, and then feeding all of that information into an AI algorithm to then exploit you. The tinfoil hat might be on a bit snug or a bit too loose. In any case, an attorney general who is 30 years late to the violence in video games debate should not be taken seriously, and said attorney general's motives and intentions must be called into serious question, especially considering Valve is nowhere near being public enemy #1 in the gambling is bad for people business.
She probably has kids or relatives or someone who talk about Steam or something, and she just got upset and she's like, nope, not having it.
Judging by the Matrix-like dystopia the tech industry is going in, I'd wager these lawsuits are not for anyone's benefit but the corporate elite. One could say we are heading towards a world in which no man is free. But those are my thoughts on the lawsuits Valve is facing and the war against Valve and Steam. How do you think things will turn out? Valve is a killer team of lawyers, so it's not going to be an easy fight. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Check out my older video, The Rise and Fall of Valve, if you want a more critical approach to their company's history, and subscribe to The Act Man for more awesome content. Thank you, Chime, for sponsoring this video. All right, everyone, that's all I got for today. This is The Free Man, signing out. Peace!
Peace! All right. There you have it. That was the Act Man. He also has another channel called Act Man TV where he does more edited type videos. But yeah, this was the war against Valve. Valve is always facing lawsuits, and that was just a video about the latest ones. All right, thanks for joining me on this reaction, guys. I will see you next time.